All right, welcome. Today we are cracking the case on one of the most prestigious high school competitions on the planet. Think of this as your secret playbook for the Wharton Investment Competition. Let's get right into it.
But before we dive in, I want you to hear this from a team that's actually been in the trenches. They said it's the story behind the numbers that matters most. See, anyone can crunch numbers, but the real magic, the winning edge, is understanding the why. And that, right there, is the secret sauce that separates the winners from everyone else. So keep that in your back pocket as we go.
Okay, so what exactly is this competition? Let's break down the challenge you'd be up against. At its core, this whole thing is a 10-week sprint. Your team gets to act like a real asset management firm. Your mission? To come up with a brilliant investment strategy. And listen, you're not just playing with monopoly money here. You're building a real-world plan for a very real client who has some very specific goals.
Which brings us to, and I'm not kidding, the single most important part of this whole thing. Before you even think about a single stock, you have to get to know your client. This one question, it should be plastered on your wall. It's the North Star for every single decision you're about to make. Everything, and I mean everything, has to serve their story and their goals.
Let's take a real-world example, Connor Barwin. Now, this isn't just some random name on a page. He's a former NFL player, a Wharton MBA grad, and he founded a nonprofit that builds parks and playgrounds in Philadelphia. His mission, Make the World Better, isn't just a catchy name. It's his entire value system, and your strategy has to reflect that.
And his goal? It was super specific, no ambiguity. He had $500,000, and he needed you to turn it into this, $1.5 million, in just 10 years. That's your finish line. It makes the whole challenge completely real.
Okay, so you've got your client, you've got your target. Now, how in the world do you build a strategy that can actually hit that number and impress the judges? Let's get into the good stuff.
Look, every solid strategy has to start somewhere, right? And for most teams, that somewhere is what we call a top-down analysis. It basically means you start big, you look at the entire global economy, and then you slowly narrow your focus from sectors to industries until you finally land on specific companies that make sense.
But listen up, because this is the part that really matters. Doing that top-down analysis, that's just table stakes. Pretty much every team does it. The winning move, the thing that will make you stand out, is to create something totally your own, a unique investment framework that's tailor-made for your client.
Okay, check this out. One team came up with something they called the SDGs framework. They didn't just pick stocks randomly, they ran them through their own custom filter. Was it sustainable? Disruptive? Did it have a good valuation and potential for safe growth? You see, it wasn't some textbook formula. It was their invention, built from the ground up just for their client.
And this wasn't just some fancy idea they talked about. Here's an actual trading note from their final report. They are literally showing the judges, hey, that framework we told you about, we actually used it for every single trade. This right here is the proof in the pudding.
All right, so you've got this brilliant strategy on paper. Now how do you turn that into an actual portfolio? Let's talk about execution.
So this is what it all leads to. Your strategy comes to life in charts like these. And these visuals aren't just for looks. They instantly show how you've spread your investments across different sectors, like healthcare or tech. It's your entire game plan, visible in a single glance.
So during the competition itself, you'll be using the official Wharton Investment Simulator, they call it WINS, to make your trades. But then for your final report, using tools like simplywall.s can be a total game changer for creating these slick, professional-looking visuals that make your portfolio super easy to understand.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial. Every time you buy, every time you sell, you have to have a why. The trading notes section in the simulator isn't just a memo pad for you. It's your official logbook where you prove to the judges that you weren't just guessing and that every move you made was connected back to your big strategy.
Okay, deep breath. Now for the final boss battle, the report. All that hard work, your amazing strategy, all your smart trades, it all comes down to how well you can sell it in this one document.
The best reports, the ones that win, they all tell a really clear story. And it follows a pretty straightforward path. You start with the title, hook them with a killer summary, prove your thinking with the trading notes, show off the results with the portfolio, and then you dive deep into the details.
Now really focus in on that summary page. This is your first impression, and you only get one shot. You have exactly 75 words. That's it, to give your elevator pitch. It has to be punchy, powerful, and perfectly clear.
And don't sleep on the trading notes analysis page either. This thing is super important. You're not just making a list of your trades here. You're picking 2 key moments, 2 turning points, and explaining how those specific decisions helped you learn and refine your entire strategy along the way.
So when it's all said and done, what are the judges really looking for? If you boil it all down, it's this. They want a great story. They want to see a creative strategy that's built specifically for the client, backed up with both numbers and insights, and told in a way that's totally compelling.
So, the report's in. The competition's over. What's the real takeaway? Well, it turns out the trophy isn't the only prize. The real win is the set of skills you walk away with.
Seriously, it doesn't even matter if you make it to the finals. You will walk away from this with a professional-grade toolkit. You'll learn how to analyze companies, build strategies, work in a team, and pitch your ideas. This isn't just stuff for a test. This is real-world experience that's going to put you way ahead of the curve.
All right, we've laid it all out for you. You have the guide, the secrets, the strategy. The playbook is in your hands. The only question is, what's your story going to be?